I finally got to watch Star Trek IV: The Voyage Home. There's no analysis this time, it's just my general thoughts, similar to when I talked about the other few movies. And funny thing, first and foremost, I always hear this one called the one with the whales more than The Voyage Home. To be honest, that does make more sense. That's pretty much what it is. It's definitely one that has a purpose, it's got an environmental message, but unlike a lot of 90s environmental movies, this one, while it is heavy-handed, it doesn't feel obnoxious. It feels very, very natural, and Star Trek, of course, dealt with a lot of issues in the past, philosophical, ethical, etc. And if any case, I heard that a lot of efforts from this movie helped preserve whales, and the message did get across, so it was effective. It got the desired result. And again, it does not feel obnoxious in any way. But the plot is that they have to go back in time to then modern-day San Francisco to get some whales to repopulate the species. I really like at the beginning there's a message coming in, an extraterrestrial message, and I really, really like how they say, wow, how very arrogant of humans to assume the message is always for us. That was great. That's another reason they have to get the whales back, because the extraterrestrials are talking to the whales. They're communicating with them, which makes sense because they are a much older species than man. I'm sure the conversations were interesting. But yeah, that was great. And Star Trek has a bunch of episodes, even the original series, where they go back to different time periods. And there is one where they go back to the 1960s, so this feels very true to the show. It has a much more comedic tone than, I would say, the other three movies. But it is welcome. I mean, Search for Spock was very heavy, where the whole crew steals the Enterprise to return Spock's Katra to Vulcan. Wrath of Khan is obviously very intense. Motion picture is flawed, but at the same time, it's very slow-moving, but motion picture is very philosophical, especially in the last third. Voyage Home is, I guess the best way I can describe it is, it's a feel-good movie overall. It's got action, it's got a message, it's the characters experiencing the fish out of water story, and they do a little bit more with the side characters, Uhura, Chekhov, etc., than they had previously. Oh, Scotty gets to do more, he gets to be off the engineering deck, which is nice. I would have liked, and they're fun characters, and they have such a fun dynamic. That is actually something I would have liked to see more from the original series, more from the side characters, more involvement with them. And that's something that this movie does very well. They all get to have their moment, they get to do things, they get to be out and about. And there's just a lot of great moments. I feel like just reiterating them would be very redundant, because a lot of people remember the scene with the punk on the bus, which as you get older makes more and more sense. And the whales are named George and Gracie after the comedic duo of George Burns and Gracie Allen. There's some fun movie trivia for you, but fans probably already knew that. You get a lot of... Oh, and then Chekhov having to... He doesn't teleport, he doesn't beam up back in time, so he has to outrun... I think it's the Navy. He has to outrun these guys. Naval base in Alameda, where the extras were extremely useless, telling them where to go. I've been reading up behind the scenes. Apparently, the guys were very excited to be a part of this, and he did not know what they were going to do, so he really did run for it. That's really fun. So that's really funny. A lot of that was real. The time travel was fun. I don't have too much to say about this compared to the other three movies, because this one is lighter. It's not, I wouldn't call it the deepest of the films, but it is fun. It's a nice, coherent film. Oh, Leonard Nimoy directed this. That's really cool. And yeah, he became a very prolific director, and he does a very good job. I guess the marine biologist character, she's great. She's fun in her ways, and she's trying to... she's really, really passionate about these whales. There is a sort of romance with her and Kirk, but I definitely wasn't getting too much of a romantic vibe from them. but I did like how passionate she was about the cause and the whales and how much she was willing to give for what she did. I like seeing passionate people do what they do, and I got that out of her character. It was, again, all fun. They have a lot of fun with the time travel, and they don't have to do too much. They definitely take advantage of the Enterprise being out of place, as such as in the future, supposedly, at least according to Star Trek, there's no money, and they have to quickly get some money, which is a funny scene at the pawn shop. And they're trying to interact with people, but they're baffled by what's outdated technology, whether that's medical technology or computer technology. They take advantage of every opportunity they get with the time travel. They don't hold on some of the cliches too long with people not believing them. So, which is nice. It can help the pacing of the story. The effects aren't so bad. I know a lot of people have things to say about the effects, especially in the motion picture. They do get better. And it's not distracting. Even bad effects, it's rare that I find that distracting. And here, it's done very, very well. A lot of what they're doing is on location. I would say overall, like I said, it's a fun one. It's a much lighter take compared to the other ones. I don't know what the fandom generally thinks of this one, because my understanding is that the fan base likes the even-numbered ones. Those are considered the good ones, and the odd-number ones are usually considered the weaker ones, which maybe the later one, because I thought there was a lot of good in motion picture, and I thought Search for Spock was great. This one I really, really like, too, in a different way than I like the other ones, because this one is a fun, feel-good movie. It has a message. It has a good message, and it's not done in a really obnoxious way. The characters get to have fun, and they take a lot of comedic opportunities, and it's all great. It's a fun, likable film. So, that is my thought, my rant on Star Trek IV, the one with the whales. I'm not calling it Voyage Home, it is the one with the whales. Which, again, more appropriate title. I'd be curious if I don't intend to see 5, The Final Frontier. Is 6 any good? I'd be curious. I don't want to see Generations either, but I'd be curious if 6 is at least worth checking out, or if 5 is enjoyable in a so bad it's good way. I'd love to hear the opinions of the fan base on that one, but I consider, at least for me as a Star Trek fan, I consider 1 through 4 the essentials, and then everything else is just optional. Be curious to hear otherwise. Anyways, those are my thoughts this time. Live long and prosper. Yes, I can do the Vulcan salute without tying my fingers together. See? Live long and prosper.